Welcome to this week's Tarotcast. Let's jump into it, shall we? For the collective, we have the Three of Wands. Now, the collective has had quite a bit going on this month. We had the Star, we then had the World, and then we had the Queen of Cups. So we've had some pretty positive cards coming through as a collective. Now it's time for all of us to kind of step forward and really start the wheels turning in whatever plans it is that we've put forward. We've already laid a pretty solid foundation from the healing card of the Star and the opportunity of the World and the emotional flow of the Queen of Cups. So now it's time to really step forward into our fullness, and we know we can take things on, and we don't have to be afraid of things. We can allow things to come to us, whatever emotions come our way. The Queen's giving us that stability and that energy to kind of flow with what comes our way. Now's the time to really start, planting things and really getting those seeds planted. Aries, this week we have the Knight of Wands. Now, previously you had the Eight of Swords, which meant there was some kind of feeling of being stuck or some kind of stagnation that was going on. If you haven't already pulled yourself out of it, now's the time to really go full power into it. With the Knight of Wands coming through, this is encouraging you to really take on a lot of your creative and a lot of your passion sides and really go full speed into it. Now, of course, there's always that warning that comes with the Knights. The Knights can be a little bit careless in their actions, and the Knight of Wands can sometimes be a little bit unaware of how his actions or the things that he's saying might affect those around him. So to pull yourself out of the stick from last week, if you haven't already, now's the time to go full force, dig deep, find out what really brings that fire inside yourself. That's going to pull you out. It's going to bring you into your fullest. But again, do be careful of how that affects those around you. Taurus, this week you have the Empress. Now Taurus, last week you had the Knight of Swords, which said there was a lot of energy coming through your way. There was a lot of ideas, and you should have been embracing a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of momentum, really kind of, having your head down and really focusing on what it is you want to achieve. And now, after we've been in that energy, it's good to kind of let that settle, okay? We want to kind of take stock of those emotions, of that journey that we've been on through that night. And now we want to really be in tune with those feelings and those emotions that have come this way, and we want to allow the flow that's going to come from the changes from the night before. So allow the flow and the changes with the Queen energy coming through, settle in and really start to feel those feelings and trust your intuition going forward. Gemini, last week you had the Hermit. This week you have the Three of Pentacles. Now, you had the Hermit twice in this month, which meant we had a lot of time to sit back and really kind of take stock of who we are and what our plans are, our place, and all of these things. And now we've got the Three of Pentacles coming through. The Three of Pentacles says now that we should be getting clear on what kind of projects we should be working on. But not only the projects, let's look at some bigger projects. Maybe working in a community, maybe bringing our community together. This could be even just not necessarily the bigger side of a community thing, but definitely bringing a team together, a big team or a small team, but we want to work with other people to create a bigger goal. We want to achieve something bigger. And when this does come up, when we're getting that team together, we want to be working with people that are going to pick up where our weaknesses are, make sure that they've got those strengths. So we start to balance each other out. And in doing so, we're going to all learn from each other, and there's going to be a level of mastery coming through with this week. Cancer, this week you have the Hangman. Now, last week you had the Four of Swords, which was to say that you should have taken a bit of a break, and if you didn't, it could have gone a little bit south. Maybe you had some feelings coming through that were making you feel a little bit down, a little bit depressed. Hopefully you took that break, and now it's time to shift a perspective. We want to step out of that. We want to put ourselves in some kind of it might be in an uncomfortable position, step outside our comfort zone. We want to step outside of things so we can start to see things a little bit differently. We want to shift our perspective on something, and in doing so, this is going to allow us to actually see things differently and in future be able to approach things from another angle. So if there's some kind of opportunity coming up, if there's something that somebody suggests to you, maybe this doesn't feel right, maybe this doesn't feel like this is normally your kind of a thing, this might actually be good for you in actually experiencing something new. Leo, this week you have the Four of Wands. So last week you got the Two of Pentacles. The Two of Pentacles may have been suggesting that maybe you were juggling a few responsibilities, maybe you were multitasking and you were taking on a bit more. Now we're stepping into the Four of Wands, and this is putting us into a place of stability. This is putting us into a place where we can feel good with our friends and our family around us. This is about celebrating the achievements, and in which case this could be the multitasking, or maybe taking on the multiple projects or responsibilities that you had previously last week. Now is the time to kind of celebrate that, and you can celebrate for all of those victories that you did have along the way. Virgo, this week you have the Devil. So up until this point, Virgo, you had a pretty positive week. The first two cards, you had the Magician, then you had the Six of Wands. Now you're coming into the Devil. Now, there might have been something going on, maybe with the manifestation that was coming through, maybe with the Six of Wands. Maybe this was really lifting you up, and maybe a little bit more than you might have been able to manage. And maybe this could have been lifting you up to a point that you stopped seeing perspective of things around. Now, we've got the Devil, and the Devil is asking you to really look at yourself and look at some tendencies or maybe some behavioral patterns of yourself that might be getting out of check. Now's the time to check yourself before you wreck yourself, okay? But when the Devil does come up, don't forget that it is time. We do have an opportunity of breaking these shackles, breaking these cycles that haven't been serving us. So be aware of your actions, that you may have been some patterns that you have been in recently. Now is a really good opportunity to break that. Libra, this week you have the Nine of Pentacles. Well, it looks like things are looking up from you from last week, being in the Four of Cups, being the card of apathy. Looks like you've pulled yourself out of it. Looks like you've put yourself in a more positive mindset, because this card is coming through with abundance. So when we're in the card of abundance, we want to remind ourselves to be grateful for the things around us. So do make sure that you're practicing your gratitude right now. Remember, gratitude is the highest form of receivership. You put that out to the universe. You let the universe know that you're already grateful for all of the abundance that you have around you, and the universe will start to deliver more. Scorpio, this week you have the Page of Wands. Now, Scorpio, last week you did have the High Priestess coming through. You had a lot of intuition coming through. You had a lot of personal power in that sense coming through. Now we want to put that into action, and we have a bit with the Page of Wands coming through. He is suggesting that we want to expand something on our creative side, something on our passionate side, something that really gets that fire going inside. This could be something that we have already got going, and now it's time to expand. If you're an artist, maybe you want to be trying a new art technique. If you're a sports person, maybe you want to try a different position in that sports team that you're in, or maybe you want to try new techniques. It's all about learning something new. It's all about expanding what you already know, and really, it's about the passions and the creative. So really step into that, and don't be shy. Go into it with an enthusiastic and a curious mindset. Sagittarius, this week you have the Five of Wands. Now, Sagittarius, with the Five of Wands, this is saying there's some kind of competition, some kind of challenge coming up ahead of you. Now, we want to be bringing in the strength from last week, being that it was the King of Cups. This was about emotional stability. Now, once we start getting into these competitions and things start hotting up, we want to make sure that we keep a cool head and we don't let ourselves explode, or, really make actions out of emotional impulses. Now is the time that we're really going to have to step into our competitive side. We're really going to have to put our best foot forward and really compete for something that we really need. But using that King of Cups energy, don't let yourself explode under pressure. In fact, I think being in that King's energy, you won't be under pressure in that sense. So now's the time to really be creative with that outcome and really take on whatever challenges are coming towards you this week. Capricorn, this week you have the Magician. Right, you got full potential coming forward into this, Capricorn. It was a good thing because last week you had the Two of Wands, which was all about daydreaming. It was about thinking about what it is you really desire, what it is that you want. No limits to your thoughts. So now we're stepping into this place of the Magician. This should say that you've got a nice, clear objective, what it is you want to achieve. And with the Magician's power coming forward, this is where we really start to bring in that energy of manifesting what it is we want. So now is the time to really start working with your affirmations, working in that energy of gratitude to bring in what it is you want. We have full potential this week. Don't squander it. Aquarius, this week you have the Two of Cups. Aquarius, this is a week for you to really start sharing with other people. Now, previously you did have the Page of Pentacles, which was to suggest that maybe you're expanding some kind of craft that you're in, or something in the physical realm. This could have been some kind of project. Now is a time to share that with somebody special, somebody close. Now, this could be a friend, a family member, or a lover, but we want to go deep, and maybe it's time to maybe talk about like what it is that we really felt like as we were going through this process. Now it's time to go deep with somebody else and really connect, have that deep and meaningful, and really let out what it is you've been through this month. And Pisces, this week you have the Seven of Pentacles. Pisces, this week with the Seven of Pentacles, it's time to be patient. Now, previously, you did find yourself in the Page of Wands last week, which was about expanding something on your creative or your passionate side. Now, if that meant that you were learning something new, it's important to know that you're not going to get results immediately, because you are starting something new and you are learning something. And now it's time that you need to stay still. You have to keep working on what you're going at, but you have to understand it's not going to come immediately. Time to be patient. So keep working at what you're doing, but understand that it's still going to take some time before you see the results of what it is you've been working on. And that's it for this month, guys. I hope you enjoyed your reading. I hope you resonated with it. Let us know down in the comments below how that vibed. You know, how was your whole month? How does all these cards work into what you're going through right now? Let us know with the comments, and leave a like, and stay tuned for next week, and we're going to start next month. Big love, guys. Ciao.